Hi, Stephanie Talia. I'm the owner of Stephanie's Mindful Solutions. Thanks for tuning in. I have a wonderful friend joining us today, and I'll introduce her shortly. Just quickly, if some of you have been following me, or even if you have not, I do have psoriasis. Stress, emotions, and inflammation are definitely triggers for that. Skin issues. So it's definitely about being mindful of not only what you're eating, what you're drinking, but also your thoughts. And I absolutely love sharing solutions and businesses that others may not be aware of that could possibly help them. So I hope this is useful. This information is useful to you today. And I would love to introduce to you my wonderful friend, Ming Lovejoy. She is a wellness and wireless safety advocate, and she actually helps people connect the dots between health challenges and exposure to electropollution. So this is going to be absolutely fascinating, right? So Ming, welcome. Please share a little bit about your background, kind of tell us how you got into the wellness and wireless safety arena.
Well, it started many years ago, actually, with my first pregnancy, and I was working next to a power transformer station. So I took it upon myself to learn what those emissions could do to my growing baby. And what I learned back then is really set me up. I want to say it set me up for the divine appointment I have now. It was quite a few years later. But really I learned how every cell in our body is affected by our technology and devices. And so we can get into that now, or we can get into that later. But that kind of teed it up for me. And quite a few years ago, over 10 years ago, I met a functional medicine doctor at a business conference. And I was concerned about electropollution from devices. And he had said to me, he said, I've got patients, and we're finding, our natural practitioners are finding our patients who are drinking more water than ever aren't absorbing it. Our patients are chronically stressed. Our patients aren't absorbing their nutrients as well. And there was really, when we connect the dots, there were some very important things to understand about our wireless world living and our technology and devices, how it's affecting our ability to absorb hydration, nutrients, and also to eliminate stress from our bodies.
Okay. So as far as the wireless and I guess invisible stress, can you kind of tell us a little bit about how that impacts your body and cells and things like that?
Well, I will. And there's some great resources as well. The first one I read many, many years ago was a book called Cross Currents. And it's the perils of electropollution, the promise of electromedicine. So he really talks, Robert Becker, who was nominated twice for a Nobel Prize, talks about how some of the medicine of the future is going to harness energy and frequencies and vibration to help our bodies heal. So really the key ways is literally it affects every cell of your body. So your cells, and I'm going to say this is like a cell, has little proteins on it. They're glycoproteins, like a little anemone in the ocean. And they're reading the environment for friend or foe, when they pick up on all of the frequencies from our devices. I've got my cell phone sitting right here, and obviously I'm on a computer. These frequencies that are emitted by our technology and devices are actually foreign to the cells of our body. So those little proteins don't know how to interpret what they are. So the image I always give, if anyone ever watched Lost in Space back in the day, the robot would sense danger even before Will Robinson, the little boy who was playing, happily. And that's what our cells are doing. Our cells are actually registering a stress response to our computers, our wireless routers, our home automation systems, all those things. What that's doing, Stephanie, is that the cell membrane then becomes less permeable. So it literally is a fight or flight response, which causes the cell to become less permeable and to kind of shut down. And which is, that's a good fight or flight response. We're going to defend or protect. And when that happens, we don't absorb our water as well. We don't absorb nutrients as well. And we also produce less energy in the cell. The cells don't communicate with each other as well. They don't repair. Autophagy and apoptosis, which is sort of cell remodeling and cell death, doesn't happen as efficiently. So we can have, tumor buildup, or just, cells that aren't properly healed, continuing in our body. So things like that.
Okay. So as far as can you help connect the dots between like the health issues of how it impacts hydration and nutrition and things like that? Because I do post a lot about water, and you obviously are going to talk about the water that you're drinking, I drink, because of the special system. It's not all water is created equal. And I've absolutely noticed a huge difference by incorporating this into my world. And it helps me with my skin issues. It helps with like, scarring and healing and things like that too. So can you kind of help connect the dots between like some of the health issues, hydration, nutrition, things like that?
I'd love to, and thank you.
Talk about the water too.
Yeah, we'll definitely get there. So, I always say your health is like your house, and it needs a good foundation. And when you got a symptom, you could even have a crack in the roof. It could be a foundation issue, or something that's out of kilter. So that foundation really rests on three important pillars, Stephanie. Okay. And first is hydration. The second is energy. That is how your body produces energy, how it defends itself, how it defends and protects, how it produces energy, how it repairs, all of those things, how we handle stress. And the third is nourishment. That is how we absorb and utilize the nutrients we take in. So those three pillars are all compromised by this cellular lockdown, this cellular stress response that happens to every cell of your body, because your cell is an intelligent being. A community of 30 trillion cells, something like that. So when a cell in your body is reacting that way, or the cells of your body are as a community, then you are going to you'll have a weaker energetic system, because your body isn't producing as much energy to utilize. When we're not absorbing hydration, I'll say your cell, there's 100,000 biochemical reactions that take place every second inside of every single cell. And they all depend upon hydration. They're bioelectric, bioenergetic, biochemical. So hydration is key also to the energy factories, the mitochondria producing ATP, which is the energy we have to perform every function, whether we want to go out and go on a hike, or whether we're at night, our bodies are repairing our organ systems. So symptoms are basically an imbalance, a dysfunction, a disrepair of these communities. And I will just say, if you think of the cells make up tissues, that make up organs, that make up organ systems, that make up your organism. And one of the things that's really important to know about our current environment, because we now are sharing the planet with 20 billion wireless devices, and we've created some invisible stress on our bodies. It's going to exploit whatever our greatest weakness is. So I think in connecting the dots, it's really helpful for people if somebody has, propensity to skin issues or skin sensitivities or irritations, or, even other health issues, whether it's, blood sugar issues or cardiac issues or respiratory issues or immune functions. When we weaken the system overall, there's something called allostatic stress. It's like if you took a credit card and you bent it and bent it and bent it. There's a point at which that allostatic stress would literally snap the card. And that's something that we need to look at. So your symptoms are your body giving you feedback. It's information. And it's something we should, I always say, be kind of grateful for at first, because then we know really where to focus.
Right. So now tell me, because the water, you and I have been drinking the water. So let's talk about the water, right? This water, because again, I post a lot about this hydration. And again, water is life, but not all water is created the same. And to your point, you mentioned earlier, there's a lot of people that are absolutely hydrating, but they're, they may not be absorbing it. So what is so special about this water that you're drinking, that I'm drinking, that a lot of people are drinking, and what does it do, and how does it help based on the stressors and things like that?
Okay. And first, I just want to underscore something you said is we're drinking more water than ever. We really are. Statistically, we are just drinking more water than ever. Everybody's, got their water bottle. But World Health Organization and top researchers are actually saying that 75 to 100% of us who are drinking plenty of good quality water are dehydrated. And that's because we're not absorbing the water we drink. So that is really critical.
Okay.
That's really, really critical. And I learned that, some years ago, because, I knew folks who were, and I myself, I would drink water and I was going to the bathroom all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was drinking water and my skin was dry.
Mm-hmm.
I was drinking water and my energy was fluctuating, and I was depending on caffeine and sugar and things like that to stimulate my body.
Yeah.
So what I learned a couple things, and there's 3 key things.
Mm-hmm.
One is, first of all, we need to know that the structure of the water we drink is really important. So it's not just that we're drinking volumes of water, but it's that we're drinking water that our cells can absorb.
Mm-hmm.
So that is really key. And I learned that when we're born, babies are so soft and hydrated
and dewy.
And dewy and glowy.
Yeah.
And if they cut their finger, it's healing within like 15 minutes. Mm. That's a function of a super hydrated body. And when we're born, our cells actually are the water in our cells, and I'll show a little picture, is actually in this linear structure. Mm-hmm. So the H2O molecules are lined up like a strand of pearls. But the water we drink is in clumps of H2O molecules. So H2O, the water we drink, is actually, if it's out of a tap or out of a well or anywhere, out of our kitchen sink, it is bonded in these clumps. Mm-hmm. Now, the cells of our body have these little plumbing system on. It's called the aquaporin. Mm-hmm. And it was actually a doctor at Johns Hopkins received a Nobel Prize in 2003 for the discovery of what's called the aquaporin. That is the water portal, or the pores on our cells, just like the pores on our skin. Mm-hmm. And what he showed and demonstrated is that water has to be in this linear structure. It has to be in single file alignment to get into the cell. So here's the problem. If we're drinking water that's in big clumps, our bodies have a lot of things they've got to do, and they're not doing that as well. They're not breaking those down as well to be able to absorb them properly. So I learned that. And then I met this fabulous functional medicine doctor at a business conference, and he shared with me this water. And should I just show it? This is called.
Yeah, let's talk about it, because
it's called.
And this structure is the water, like you were just talking about, right? In the single file, like the pearl type strand to get into the aquaporin. Okay.
Yes, you literally fill this with whatever good quality water you want to start with. Put this activator on top. There's a little plug in. Mm-hmm. You plug it in, and in 30 minutes, it automatically shuts itself off. Mm-hmm. And your water is restructured from those clumps into the linear structure. And that's what makes all the difference. This is also the only, and I'll just share this, this is the only patent for the single file activation of liquids. And lots of science on it. It is, been shown to be anti-inflammatory. Mm-hmm. It's shown actually to help reduce callus cell production in issues like you were talking about before.
That's right.
And same with, other skin issues. It's amazing. It actually enhances collagen production. It also is antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral. It helps your body balance its pH properly.
Can I tell you one of my favorites too? Because obviously I'm not getting any younger, but the free anti-aging that comes with it too. Because why? Because if you're properly hydrated with your cells, right, then the fine lines and wrinkles start to dissipate. So that's a wonderful side effect that I love drinking this water.
It happens. And it happened to me. It's like one of my testimonials is I had adult acne in my 40s.
Okay.
And when I started drinking this water, I had these acne scars, and I had kind of a dark mask around here, and, including wrinkles. I have been drinking it, and I swear my skin was better. My wrinkles are better. The scars went away. The discolorations went away, and I love it. And it's amazing because this water too, you get these little spray bottles with it. Uh-huh. It's amazing to spray on your skin. Mm-hmm. what I will just say, in any glandular tissue has a lot of those aquaporins. So eyes, mouth, any sort of, it's amazingly healing as well. And it has energetic benefits. So it literally feeds and nourishes your body energetically, and also with the right structure. What I say is your cell is like your email account.
Okay.
It needs the right username and password.
That's perfect. That's beautiful.
The username is the structure, that single file alignment. And then the password is the energetic signature that helps your body go, I know who you are, and come on in. Kind of thing. So
that's fantastic. And then also, so what's an additional benefit as far as like around like nutritionals? Because people pay a lot of money, right, for supplements and stuff like that. Because, you know, again, part of what I do is like, it's being mindful of what you eat, you know, again, what you absorb through your skin and then also through your mind. But I mean, as far as supplements, people spend quite a bit on that. So how does this enhance that too, or help with that?
Well, one key thing to know is that a nutrient, whether it goes on your skin or whether it ingesting it, is only as good as your body's ability to absorb it.
Okay.
And remember, I told you this Dr. Michael Schbach, who I met at this business conference years ago, was sharing with me that patients are spending more money than ever on good food, good nutrition, good supplements, and they're simply not absorbing. And I meet with many doctors pre-COVID. I meet with many doctors every year at conferences, and that was really across the board. And so really what this single file alignment does is it will accelerate the absorption of anything you take with it. And that means whether you're taking supplements, and drinking your eye water with it, or you are emulsifying something, whether it's, some kind of nutrient or collagen drink or smoothie or whatever that is, with this single file aligned water. What it does is it will accelerate the absorption into the cells. Also, whether it is topically or inside. But even, I will just say with this water, amazing on anything to do with the skin, bee sting, bug bite, burns. And I really mean that. With any kind of a burn, you could really eliminate quite quickly with that.
So now, what about from like, because obviously hydration, if you're properly hydrated, from a toxin perspective, how does that, and inflammation, right? Because inflammation is just, unfortunately, sometimes things hanging out in your body that aren't necessarily flushing. So from this perspective, with the single file alignment, how does that address toxins and inflammation and stuff like that?
So I say that, inflammation is extracellular water. That's water sitting outside the cell where it can be causing all kinds of problems. It can be, pressing on nerve systems and causing pain. But really where you need the hydration is inside the cell. And Dr. Zach Bush, who's just a superstar doctor these days, talking a lot about hydration and many things related to health, says really the new science of hydration is all about intracellular water. Okay. So when you actually start repairing and relaxing that fight or flight response of that cell membrane, you're going to start absorbing things into the cell where the energy factories, where the transmitters are happening, where the bioelectric, biochemical, and bioenergetic messaging is going on, and you're going to be getting that hydration in. You're also going to be flushing toxins out. So you're going to be improving the metabolic functions of every cell. And that's really where you can reduce inflammation, Stephanie, is when you're absorbing hydration, getting the factories to work properly. I mean, your cell is an intelligent being performing all those functions, and eliminating waste. And so eliminating waste is such an important part of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I've got a great story. Can I just share
absolutely. I would love for you to share a story.
So it was, early on when I was with this company, and we had a scientist speaking at one of our conferences, and he said, we all know about the United States Postal Service, right? Everybody was like, He says, that's why DHL, FedEx, UPS came along, right? He said, well, imagine a delivery system where the delivery person comes to your door, brings your package in, unpacks it, cooks you dinner, cleans up afterwards, and takes out the trash when he leaves. That's
That's fantastic. Yeah.
So, and I will just tell you, that's been my experience. For me, I had very uneven energy, and I was
Mhm.
addicted to caffeine and sugar. That was the way I got my energy, and it was not good. I also had a lot of digestive problems. And when I started drinking this water, my digestion improved. And I have people tell me that all the time, all of their plumbing improves.
Okay.
But the other thing was that I could drink this water. And I really had a problem. I was homeschooling my kids. And in the afternoon, I was just like, I wanted to just pass out on the couch.
Mhm.
And I could drink water. And within about 10 to 15 minutes, actually experience a boost in mental clarity
Mhm.
and energy. And this is my go-to,
Mhm.
for that. And really think about this. We've heard about things like your body's many cries for water. Your body, sometimes you'll reach for food, or you'll reach for a stimulant or something like that when your body really needs hydration. Oh, there you go. This water does more.
It
It
does.
just does.
So it doesn't just hydrate though, right? It basically hydrates how many times faster than
3 times faster.
okay.
It's actually that, when you take it from the clumps to the single file,
Mhm.
it actually makes it 300 to 500 times less viscous.
Okay.
And it has been proven in bioimpedance analysis to absorb 3 times more quickly. So actually, they took a half a liter. So they did a little study, and a half a liter of this eye water within 40 minutes produced a liter and a half of intracellular fluid. That's
Wow.
yeah. And that's where you want your water. You want your water inside your cell. That's what it's got to happen. And when you do that, everything in your life can change. I guarantee it. All kinds of things. Like tell that story about the scar. I know you mentioned it, but
Yeah. So I had recently gotten the water, right? Because it
yeah.
was, well, it's a couple years back. I've been on the water, but the thing is, again, it's been a key component because for me with psoriasis, it's not just one thing, it's several solutions, right? But this has been super key for me because at first I was trying to address the external. This is actually addressed and impacted hugely internally. So I had gotten she's no longer a puppy. She's about 5 now, but I got a puppy, and her little nails were sharp, and she scratched me pretty good on the back of the hand. And I'm telling you, within a couple of days of drinking the water, spraying it, it was gone. I mean, it was more or less pretty much healed. I mean, it wasn't like red, it wasn't angry or anything like that. It was just, you could see the quick healing. And I mean, I don't have a scar anymore. I mean, it's completely gone on the back of my hand. I don't know if you can see that. Oop.
I remember when you were texting me, you were like, my scar's disappearing. That's the kind of stuff I always say, like, welcome to Gia, because people will tell me the craziest things, or sounds like the craziest things, but it's a function of internal hydration. We had a gal who, she was in her 70s. She started drinking this water, and she showed us, she said, my skin is so dry, it's like powder. Like she'd pull up her pant leg and it would be like flaking powder. Yeah. Well, she came in, this was a couple weeks later, she came in and she starts yanking up her pant leg. And we're like, what is Diana doing? And she's like, look. And her skin was soft and smooth. And she's like, this water is hydrating me. And it's amazing. Yeah. Don't use as much lotion, don't do that kind of thing, because you're really hydrating. Well, should I share Henry?
Yes, please do, because I think this is a phenomenal, because again, anything for me near and dear to my heart, right? Anything that can give people different solutions, for like skin discomfort, right? I mean, of any sort. It could be like psoriasis, could be eczema, could be rosacea. But yes, please do share the story and the pictures, because this is a fantastic story. This is what got my attention before I started drinking water.
And that's perfect. What I say is, we can't make any claims specifically for this water that it cures, treats, diagnoses, or mitigates anything. However, the byproduct of hydrating your cells properly and actually absorbing your nutrients that you take, with this water, and also eliminating some of the stress, resourcing your body energetically, all of those things, helping the cells perform, is amazing. So the byproduct is that some people's symptoms clear up, and that is the body making its own best efforts to do the healing that it wants to do, because your body wants to heal. It just does. So I'll just share that that we had introduced this water to a very well-known, beloved, longtime dentist in our valley here. And he did a lot of complicated cases, and has just had a practice for many, many years. So he said, I want to read all the science. He read the science books on it. And he finally said, if this water does all these things, it's got to help some of my patients. And so what he did is he started his own clinical observation. And he started a group of patients with failing dental implants. So that is implants where they're infected. And these were the smokers. These were the drinkers. They were the ones who were not very healthy. And those are the folks whose bodies will kind of reject an implant. And he said, I got to see if I can help them. So he put them on a protocol where they were drinking the water, certain amount per day, and water picking this water at the site of their infections, like at least twice a day. He had a strict protocol. Well, within 1 week, literally we noticed, or he noticed, and they all noticed because he was documenting this, less infection. I mean, he ended up clearing up all the infections. But the amazing thing that happened was 2 of his patients had that condition that you mentioned on 80 to 90% of their bodies. And this is Henry. And Henry had lesions like this all over his body, which caused him a lot of discomfort. And they were literally all over. Well, this lower picture is literally 8 weeks drinking and spraying the eye water.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And even at this 8 weeks, he reported that his skin was getting better and better. Yeah. So that happened for him, for another one of Dr. Pergesi's patients, and she was on the local news and talked about it. So yeah, so just there is hope, and really what it is, the hope is a combination of what I want to say is technologies that literally copy nature, because that's what this is. It's literally a technology in this activator that copies, that reproduces what the earth naturally does on the parts of the planet where they've studied healing, regenerative, rejuvenating water. And that is to create the single file alignment. So it's a combination of that and your body's desire and best efforts to heal when you give it the right things.
So awesome information. So can you tell me again, so what are the 3, you talked about 3 different things that help with health. Can you reiterate what those 3 things are? The water is fantastic, but on top of that, what are the 3 things?
Well, hydration, addressing your body's hydration is such a key fundamental pillar. Yes. And the main thing is the water we're drinking we're not necessarily absorbing it. If you're going to the bathroom and you still have dry skin and you still have a bunch of symptoms, then you may not be absorbing the water you drink. And of course, statistically, the researchers are saying 75 to 100% of us who are drinking plenty of good quality water are not hydrating. So that's one, is hydration. So key. And the structure of the water you drink can make every difference. So drinking water that is SFA, single file aligned, or SFA, with this powerful technology that's very simple and easy to use in your own kitchen. So that's one key pillar, is hydration. The second is your body's energy. So kind of helping your body eliminate some of that stress, the invisible stress that it's taking on, Stephanie, and I think you use these too, but this, for example, is the Gia Cell Guard for the cell phone. There are other devices like, I'll just grab it, like the Home and Office Harmonizer, which is just a plug-in device. The guards that can go on your computer, your laptop, your wireless router, things like that. Harmonizers, for the car and places that are highly electropolluted. So really, even the energetic pendants, these are literally energetic nourishment for your body. What these things do is help eliminate some of that energetic or invisible stress that is binding up some of your energy production in your body that your body wants to use to do all those great things like perform and think and repair and all that. So, I call them wellness essentials for the wireless world. This is an essential. Your cell phone's an essential, your computer's an essential. I even say, when you bought your phone, you probably got a case for it, like the first day, right? To protect your phone. Well, this is an essential for your body. Yeah. So the guards and things like that. So just wellness and energetic essentials for the wireless world. And the third is nutritional supplements that are whole food, non-GMO, pesticide, herbicide free, that you can ingest, that are also structured in the single file alignment and energized to assist with that username and password we talked about, so that you can start absorbing. And can I just share a quick story about my family? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, when I started on all these products, I had a very fragile immune system, and I had 3 daughters, my husband and 3 daughters with fragile immune systems, and they were sick all the time and staying home from school and this and that. And I started them on all of these products, but particularly, they were on a regimen of taking these nutritional supplements, the superfood, vitamin, amino acid, plus a stress formula, plus a nutrient formula. And I noticed one of them had actually 2 of my kids had real problems with cold sores, like chronic cold sores. One of them was worse than the other, but those started clearing up until they weren't getting them anymore. And then they started getting sick, shorter duration, less frequently, until they didn't get sick anymore. So during the last, some years of their junior high school and high school, they would just ask to take wellness days, and we called them Gia Wellness Days, because they weren't getting sick anymore. I didn't have any more of that bonding time that you have with your kids when they're home sick, So we'd go ride our horses or go do something.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So in any case, literally transformed my family's health.
That's fantastic. So I know I posted this in like the announcement, and I want to make sure, because you have such a wonderful background and a breadth of knowledge on a bunch of different stuff. You're a certified health coach. You're an herbalist. You have is it culinary?
I have a culinary degree. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so like you bring, and again, I apologize if I didn't bring that up at the beginning. I know I had it in the post, but I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is you have a huge breadth of knowledge in these different areas, and you've been in the different industries and the wellness and trying to serve and trying to help people basically live their best lives and thrive. And I love it. And so basically, I guess, Ming, if someone wants to contact you to get more information or set up like a consultation and get more details, basically, how would they contact you?
One easy way is go to talkwithming.com. That is one way, and just book with me. I am on Facebook. Ming Lovejoy is pretty significant. So that's another way. I could give my phone number, or we could put it in the message thread on this. You can always text me or call me. This is what I do full time, and I've never done anything more inspiring. So it's my favorite thing to do. That's 406-212-2729, 406-212-2729. But talkwithming.com should work as a link to just schedule some Zoom time. And Facebook, Ming Lovejoy. I'm also at ming@livegia.com. So ming@livegia.com. So maybe we can put that in the message thread or something like that.
Yeah, and I'll absolutely update the post with it too, so you have that. And I want to thank you so much, Ming. This has been, I don't know, this definitely the solutions have been life-changing for me. I mean, they absolutely have. And then getting to know you and all the different people that you've actually been able to help improve their lives so that they can actually enjoy and live a better life, and thrive, basically, including myself. It's like, I really can't thank you enough for taking the time out to share this, because again, it's all about giving people hope. And there are solutions out there, that potentially maybe something didn't work, but there are things out there that potentially could. Just keep trying until you find something that does. So again, this is why it's so important to me to try and bring people on, and specialists and things like that, to talk about these different solutions that perhaps maybe somebody didn't know about. So thank you for being so involved in wellness and being a wireless safety advocate. I hope this was informative for everybody. And thank you again, Ming. I greatly appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you.
Grateful. Stephanie, thank you for doing all that you do. There's just like nothing more wonderful than doing something for another person.
Yes.
Is life-changing. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
For now.